Good morning everybody, welcome to Stockradar Stocks in the Week for another week. Today's date is the 24th of April 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. A little bit late today, I'm actually flying blind. I've got one eye I can't see through at the moment. I was diagnosed with a detached retina on Sunday. I was in the eye and ear hospital on Monday and operated on Tuesday and back here on Wednesday. It's a wonderful health system at work. So my vision will be back in a week or so, but for the moment, just the one eye today, so just bear with me a little bit. But I know you want to hear what we've got to say. The market's very dangerous at the moment. We've got to be careful, so we're focusing. What we really need to do is staying with the strength, staying with this trends, and staying safe, okay? So which of those stocks? We're going to have a look at those as we go through. Okay, firstly, we'll go to the trend intensity ratings. And again, we know that some of the metal markets have come off this week, but this is from last week. We've got APE there, which is actually a new stock which broke up last week. CMM Coles is going gangbusters as one of our stay safe stocks. Then we've got the rest of the metals there, which we're going to have to see where we finish the end of the week to see which stocks get stopped out and which stocks hang in there. We've got some great profits to protect there, so we will do that if we are required. Okay, next we're up 4 this week, the stock pick count. So we had 4 new stocks this week, or 5 new stocks and one ETF out. So they're actually quite interesting there. There's 3 buy and weakness type trades, which is a good opportunity because there's lots of stocks at the moment that are down and looking to rally a bit. So there's a couple of stocks there for you, and there's one new high, which is the one we looked at before, which is APE. Okay, so that's the trend intensity ratings, that's the stock pick count. Now we're going to go to the overseas markets. Well, we know we've had a bit of a rally there, but really the market is still well down from those highs and still well deep into a correction phase at the moment. So these rallies here are really not doing an awful lot at the moment. There's plenty of activity here. We saw some good buying there off the low there, so a little bit up and down, but for the moment we still feel that the pressure is still down by the look of it. Looking at the momentum which has gone out of it, and what the prices have done as well. So this is the Nasdaq, which is well off its highs, and then of course we've got the S&P 500, which is also well off its highs as well, despite their rallies which in the last couple of days. So there, this pressure still seems to be down for me. The ASX 200, well, it's rallied as well. Can't even get through R1 at the moment, which is the first resistance level. So there's no real gains there, nothing really special. And again, like the other indices, the momentum has been sagging pretty badly. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the gold futures. And gold's come off a bit. Don't know if this has been totally updated, this chart, but gold has come back a bit in the last couple of days. So a bit of profit taking there, and again we'll see how that reflects on our stocks at the end of the week. But we've had a massive run there, and maybe it's coming to an end now. Who knows? Anyway, the gold's still in an uptrend there and still holding for the moment. So copper's also back, trying to rally back towards its high after having that whopping fail off here a couple of weeks ago. It's clawing its way back to have another go. Will it get through? Well, we don't really know. We thought it got through last time, but still back. So this is a pretty big resistance area we've got here. So. But if it does get through, to me, it's still good potential. So we're still working on those highs there. We're still holding this uptrend phase here, which has been holding for a long time, and it's still a very bullish picture in the longer term. Brent crude, well, we saw the breakdown there, and that's still down. Pressure's still down there, despite a bit of a rally the last couple of weeks. It's still pretty weak there, and a pretty heavy volume on the downside. Okay, so that's your commodities and the markets. Okay, we're going to get straight into the stocks. I'm not going to muck around today. First, we want to go through, really, as I said before at the start, but we've really got to stay safe. So we're staying with our trends and staying with our strength at the moment. And a lot of those stocks are the leading stocks, believe it or not. And it doesn't surprise me in this market at the moment as to what's happening there. So we'll go through the first one, which we saw on the trend intensity ratings, the Coles, which is making new highs at the moment. It broke above $19. It's now $21.40. Volume's been good, momentum's good. Trend intensity rating is 10. No problem there. It looks like it's going to go higher there. So that's Coles, which looks well. We looked at Wesfarmers last week. Just want to show you again. It's still clawing its way back towards those highs. We bought the new high here. It came back pretty sharply, almost hit our stop. We've held it in there, and it's back towards those highs again. So we're sort of hopeful still that this one may still continue higher. And again, it is a quality stock, Wesfarmers. It's still rating at trend intensity rating of 8. So we're happy to be in there for the moment. The next one, of course, is Telstra, which has been going really well. We saw it get through this 440 level a week or so ago, which is a really good sign. We're seeing some great volume here, and this really has sparked incredibly well considering what the rest of the market's doing. So this one here, trend intensity rating of +10. Telstra, another big leader, doing very well for us and behaving just the way we want it to behave. Okay. The next one, of course, is QBE, another one, still holding very well. It looked like it was going to come down with a big washout. It climbed straight back up that week. So our lowest lows is around here. So it doesn't look too bad, in fact. And it's still just below the highs here. So it still looks okay. Trend intensity rating is 8. And the volume's been good. Momentum's been good. It's just, excuse me, it's just slowed off a little bit. Excuse me. Slowed off a little bit with this sideways movement in QBE here. So still an okay stock. Excuse me while I have a drink. Thank you, I needed that. Okay, now QBE, the next one we go to is Brambles, another leader, which has done very well of lately, still trying to work on those highs at the moment. Resilience, we see this every time it comes down like QBE, we get bought up well, we could get volume on the buying side of it. So Brambles just been edging higher and higher and higher, and looks good. It'll probably go for another little run soon, I would think. As these sellers sort of start to get eaten away slowly but surely, or eroded away. So looking pretty good there, Brambles. Momentum still holding very high levels, so this means really steady uptrend because it's still above the zero level, but this is fairly flat. So this really is a fairly steady move, which is what we're looking at. Okay, now the other one we've got is Medibank Private again. Which we've looked at for a while. We had this beautiful big breakout from this big pattern here, and it's just continued higher and higher and higher. Had a little bit of stumble to start with. We eventually got on our bike, and it's now looking pretty good for a little breakaway run. Once again, all these stocks, great volume profile, great momentum profile. So, really, you don't need to look too far past these stocks to really get your value in this market, because the market generally has been pretty bad, especially those overseas indices. Okay, just a couple of other stocks for you. Sigma, well, again, it's showing incredible resilience. It's holding up very well. Trend intensity rating is 8. It's above the moving average. The volume patterns down here, we saw a big sell week here, which didn't do much to the price. We've seen some fairly solid buying through here, which is starting to push this price higher again. The last couple of weeks have been a little bit quieter, but the price is going quite well, so we like that. And momentum stays positive, well above zero, so it looks okay to me. Again, there's no reason to sell it at this stage. The buyers are holding this up. The trend is up. It's above the stop. It's made a new high. All those things we need are there, so we're hanging on to that one for sure. So that's a good core of stocks we've got. I mean, a lot of our mining stocks, we might lose a few of those stocks this week, but they're good core. We don't have a lot of stock picks, as you know, but there's a real core of these really, really strong stocks that are doing very well. So you don't need to go too far past them. The other one we looked at again last week, and I'm quite liking what's happening here at Transurban. If we just go right back and look at the bigger picture. So from the big round, we've seen this big trading range for quite a few years. This goes back to 2020. Huge range. It's been testing these lows, holding these lows here. We've been resisting up here. So we've got a sort of a new pattern developing in here, maybe a trend reversal type pattern. For the aggressive, you might take the step 1. For the conservative, you might wait till step 2 breaks, which is the actual absolute high there. So it's looking very good. And I think if we blow this up a little bit, the trend intensity rating is 0, so it looks pretty good. If we blow this up here, if you look at the volume here on this last rally from 12.50 to $14, it's been incredibly strong, and momentum starting to pick up again. We've seen momentum do this before, so I'm not going to worry too much about that, but I like the volume and I like the price action at the moment. Sooner or later, Transurban will have its day. It's just been a long time waiting for this one to occur. Okay, so that's Transurban. Okay, and just talking about new lows, which we looked at a few last week, CSL, Fortescue, and a couple of other ones there. This one is Seek, which, frustrating a lot of people, I would have thought, this one, considering what Car and Rera have done. However, Seek hasn't really been a happy camper for a while. We've had this big trading range, which we thought was going to break out of. We thought again it might have a shot, because we're looking for an uptrend phase. We've got the downtrend phase here, the accumulation pattern, and then we always get the uptrend phase, which didn't come, and we hoped it would, but it didn't come, so we've come all the way back to the bottom of the range, which often happens. So we're going to start again from here. For the long term, as you might be a buy area down here, it's a good accumulation page and a good accumulation phase and a very strong support level. Okay, so that's SEEK. That's the little key low one I've got for you. And the other ones today are really the property stocks again. Stockland's looking pretty good. It's not resolving from the challenge of these highs here. It hasn't got through yet. Again, we've seen some good volume here. I think, to some extent, we might see a little bit of attraction for infrastructure and property in these times and staying with the strength of the big stocks, which we've seen today. And I'm seeing Stockland show good support. It's at its highs. We're seeing a little bit of volume come through here. Momentum is still okay. There's no real momentum power because we've seen this sideways movement, but all we need is this break just to trigger a rally. So we're just going to wait patiently for this and see if and when it happens. The other one is Vicinity Centres. Not much annotations on this one, a fairly simple one to see here. It broke to new highs. It's come back and is now having another challenge to the new high. So we always buy a new high because we never know what's going to happen. So this one again is looking pretty good. We've got volume coming through here and momentum starting to bubble along a little bit. So again, another property stock which is worth looking at. And Mirvac again, a lot of these stocks, SGP, Stockland is at a high. These two, Mirvac is actually at a low. Vicinity Centres is at a high. So they're different trades for different people, but I take them all. But this trend reversal here on Mirvac. Okay, so we've got this big accumulation pattern still occurring down here, a bit like SEEK, and we're getting a rally up to here. It's still turning. I'm getting this switch thrown through the average, this downtrend line, but this area here from 220, 240 is really your main resistance level that we're going to have to look at for it to get through. But again, I think they're very worth watching at the moment because they are offering good value, and we're also seeing some volume through here. If I just squeeze this up a little bit, that big sell week, you can see some very, very nice volume coming through here at the moment. It looks very good. And momentum is just starting to tick over again. Not so worried about momentum. I really need a break first, and then we look at the momentum index as to how powerful the move is going to be. But for the moment, we're just watching Mirvac sitting down there. It's starting to erode this low, starting to break out of this downtrend line, and we'll get some confirmation above 1. Okay, so that's the stocks I've got for you today. Just really want to talk about the market, how it is quite dangerous at the moment. You can see the indices are still very negative, but there's some quality stocks out there. And there's also, as I said, a lot of stocks that are not trending at the moment that are good opportunities. I'm going to say we've got 4 of them last week that came in. One was a new high AP, and there were 3 other stocks that were trend reversals coming off low bases, and I think we're going to see a lot more of those because there's a lot more weighting there in the neutral zones. If you look at our trading centre, there's a lot of stocks in those neutral zones ready and waiting to kick off. That was just a few examples of what I do there. So just quickly go to the slides. There's really not much I want to talk about today. I haven't got the time. I really had to whip this one through pretty quickly, but it's really simple. Stay with the strength and stay with your trends, and you'll stay safe. That's it. And if there's no trend, you're out of it and your stop's going off. So it's a very simple process that you do, and that's how I approach everything. Okay, so that's really all I've got for today. I hope you have a good week. I'll be back next week with full site, I hope. You can take a free trial of Stockradar. Remember to check out the trading centre. All our stocks are covered there. There's stops and reversal levels and all sorts of things there for you, lots of information there. So watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Thanks very much.